So you had to rebuild the country from scratch. And one thing that everyone talked about that you focused on was dignity, which for me, it's so confusing that I had to literally search the definition of dignity because it's not a term that I would use. Why did the concept of dignity become so important for Rwanda after the genocide? And how would you define dignity?
Yeah. For example, when I told you that we asked these aid donors to really give us a chance so that as we benefit from their aid, we're also building our own capacity so that we don't perpetually depend on them. That's about dignity.
That's exactly what aid organizations should want you to do.
Yeah. And it's about you putting yourself in a certain position that you really don't want to be dependent forever. It's about dignity. When we are telling people, don't push to us second-hand clothes endlessly. Let's have a time we can stop this, but also at the same time we develop our textile industries. It's about, you can't think like that and act like that unless you are mindful of what is your place in this world. It's about dignity.
You even went as far as making begging illegal. Is that true? Or that's false?
Begging
for money. Was that it made illegal at any stage?
In a way that I think that must have come from that, because
so it was true. It was made illegal.
It was true.
Okay.
It is true.
You made that decision.
And in fact, what we did, we put two processes in place.
It's fascinating. Law.
Yes, we did two things. One is for those who are capable, we gave them a chance to be trained to do something so that they can live on their earnings rather than those who are not capable, either handicapped in one form or another. We have a mechanism in the government of looking after them from government coffers.
So you kind of built it into a system where it no longer wasn't degrading as begging. It was no longer the dependence that existed during colonial times. You focus really on just changing everyone's mentality to no longer depend on others.
That's exactly what it is. Because you could find some people on the streets begging, young men and women who are like 15, 16, 17.
When they could go and work.
When they could go, even started to do something. And in fact, we put a technical school which can take in up to close to 1,000 people in the western part of our country to teach people mechanics, or to be a mechanic, motor vehicle mechanic, or whatever, that category of things. And these young people were sent there, and they learned to do things. I was told, for example, the first batch that came out of that training, which went on for about 6 months, and then later on it was increased to a year. The first batch of 6 months, when they got out of that place, 70% found employment.
Wow.
70%.
Your model's becoming, like, the more I learned about what you did to Rwanda, especially after after 1994, you literally turned a country that was probably the most failed a country's ever been in Africa. It's just a complete genocide, to becoming the pinnacle of what Africa could become. And the model that you've built is something that other countries could emulate. And I know you've created an organization to teach other countries to do a lot of the similar things you're doing. Why aren't we seeing that in other countries, though? Or are we in Africa? Why is Africa still, as Christian said in one of our calls, it's always referred to as the country of tomorrow, because that tomorrow never comes? What are other countries lacking? What's stopping them from doing what you're doing?
I can really speak for myself. For others, what I see, if they wanted to do things similar like to ours, they can maybe succeed even more or better. But a decision has to be made by leaders, and it's about politics. It's about politics. You can, and people are the same everywhere. If you brought them an opportunity in any part of Africa, Africa is still lagging behind other continents, but what has made other people rich are the same things that they would make Africa rich. Because Africa is endowed with resources. I mean, take a country like DRC, by the way.
Congo is a good time to pivot because DRC is an incredibly rich country.
Very, very rich. But
One of
there
the
are
richest
other
countries when it
countries
comes
which
to minerals.
Okay. Why would a country like that ever have to beg for anything from anyone? Why?
I should be asking you, so your neighbor.
Yeah, but I'm just using the question to answer you to show that it's about politics, it's about management, it's about, by the way, that integrity that we're talking about. You know, to these leaders feel they should be working with their people and to make sure that they benefit from these resources and raise everybody to a much higher level. Once you don't think about it like that, then it doesn't happen. Because in every country of the continent, I'm sure in the United States you see many Senegalese, many Rwandans, many Congolese, many, and they are as brainy, as endowed, as, they have the capacities like those people in the United States or like in Europe and so on.
Then why aren't they prospering in Congo? Congo is a perfect example of this happening
It's
today.
the politics of continent.
It's just the system is so flawed.
It is just